Greetings, InstaBatchers. How are you doing today? Guess what? Today I hit 5,000 batches on Instacart. It took me a while. I was expecting this in like August, but I've been multi-apping, so it delayed a little bit. But man, 5,000 batches. I'm pretty proud of myself here, because I could have quit a long time ago, because this job's not easy. It comes with a lot of like ups and downs. Just yesterday I had a flat tire at 9 p.m. So it's crazy. In this episode, I'm gonna break it down, the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're gonna set goals, for 2026. What's realistic for Instacart? I'll break it down. Before Instacart, I was working at a local gym. I loved it. The people, the environment, but something inside me knew I needed something different. I wanted flexibility, because I live in Palmdale and my girlfriend lives in Anaheim, so I needed something flexible where I was able to like travel over there whenever, that way I could spend time with her. And I didn't like asking for days off. You know what I mean? Because when you're in one of those jobs, like, they need you. You know what I mean? So when I take days off, I feel like I'm being selfish. But I like the flexibility with Instacart or the apps, any apps, because technically I'm a independent contractor. So I like that. I make my own schedule. I work where I want to work. You know what I mean? This is cool that I could work in my hometown and in other cities. So having control of my schedule was pretty important to me. I didn't want anyone to depend on me, and yeah, like working for oneself feels good. And also, I had an issue with the pay and work effort. What I mean is, like, when you're working somewhere, let's say they pay you like $22 an hour, that's good. But if they're paying everyone else $22 an hour, and some people are slacking, and you're working your butt off, I don't think it's fair, you know what I mean? And I tend to work a little bit harder than others, so I needed somewhere where it was gonna reflect like my efforts. Like, I wanted to go get my money. And that's what I like about Instacart. Like, you get paid for what you do. And my only business partner here is my car. So as long as I take care of my car, we're gonna be hustling. So if you're like me, that's trying to be flexible, hours, days off, a job where it reflects your efforts, you don't have to worry about raises, and fighting for hours, dealing with managers and all that stuff, telling you what to do. I like that I manage myself and my car. That's when I found, I was looking actually on YouTube, like how to make money with your phone. And that's where I came across a lot of good videos that was saying like, hey, try this app. I started with Postmates, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but I don't really want to deal with hot foods, Then I think I did Ship next, and I was like, okay, that's better. So Instacart ended up being very similar to like Ship, but I like the stores where I could shop. Sprouts, Stater Brothers. I was shopping in Orange County for a minute, and they have really nice stores over there. So it kept me going. And then I started seeing that, hey, dude, I can make more money than I was at the gym or when I was in sales with like optical, you know? I was like, this is pretty good. I was starting to average like $26, $28 an hour. Now I'm like, sometimes I average like $35 an hour on a good day, you know? Overall, I'm gonna try to make like 75,000. I'm almost there. So to me, when they say get a real job, I was like, all right, I think this is pretty real. I'm making pretty real money here. Not gonna get rich, but this definitely pays my bills, you know. I have time for vacations. I could afford vacations. It's pretty good. I don't know. What's your opinion on this gig economy? I noticed it started booming during the pandemic because they would call food delivery essential workers. And I was like, ooh, that sounds important. So I want to be essential to the USA. And so I started doing this a little bit more and more. And once you find the groove, once you learn your market and you start seeing the potential, it's just about effort, patience, strategy. Yeah, like I make a nice little living here. Obviously, you still want to like evolve, you know, grow as a person. So there's other side stuff that I do, but all through the phone. Macari, you know, I rented out my car on Turo. But I decided to make Instacart the primary app. Everything else is secondary. So I put in my hours, like 40 hours on Instacart. And then while I'm waiting, I'll pick up a quick Grubhub order, you know, $12, $22. Or I could do like medicine on Roadie. Those are really the three apps. I've tried Spark, I've tried all the other apps. I feel I'm more comfortable with a food delivery, a medicine delivery, and grocery delivery. That's it. I'm getting old. Everything else was a little bit too much effort, or it's not busy enough. So I figured out my market and I just went with it. These last 1,000 batches, I feel like I've been more efficient, but I do have to get my ratings up because they started they started rating us for our quality service, you know what I mean? And so apparently I need to work on getting like the right produce, choosing the right ones, or sometimes it's hard though, because sometimes you go shopping at like a Food for Less or Walmart, they don't have the best quality stuff. So when you get a package, and then there might be like a rotten grape mixed in somewhere. And I check, but they're coming down a little bit more strict on the ratings. And I don't blame them, because, you know, you want 5 stars, and that's why I'm aiming to be a 5-star all the time. I'm usually there, but the last 1,000 batch has been a little bit tougher for me. So here's the good. To be honest, Instacart has been really good to me. It keeps me busy all year. Like I said, I made this my full-time job, and it pays me based on my hustle, which I love, because I think it's fair. Sometimes I feel discouraged because it's like $8 batch. I should be getting 40s or 50s, but it all adds up. So much so that this has been able to provide me with my living, you know, pays the bills, like I said. I keep my independence, and that's important to me. I get to control my life, you know what I mean? And if you work, I think, an average of 25 hours, they give you money for like insurance. Of course, that's gonna be up to you to purchase it and pay for it and stuff. But yeah, I feel it's fair. I live in California, so they also give me like a Prop 22 adjustment every week, every Thursday, and that's it pays you for like the minimum hours that you should be getting and mileage, I believe. So, dude, love it. There's more pros than cons for this job, at least in my opinion. And I'm very grateful for that. And honestly, to me, this feels like better than a real job. If you know how to manage yourself, then and you're a hustler, I suggest you try this out. Now for the bad, like I said, this year Instacart introduced the shopping quality rating. And yeah, it kind of made things a little bit more difficult for me. But it's a reality check because like I gotta step up my game, you know? I might even lose diamond cart status because you gotta like have like basically a perfect score. You have to be good in your quality ratings, plus 300 batches, plus something else, you know, like what is it? I'll come back to it. But what I've noticed is that the better your stats are, the better batches that you get. Sometimes I'm waiting at Costco and I'm thinking like, hey, it's a hot spot, it's in red. Why am I not getting a batch? And I'm assuming it's because there's other Instacart shoppers with a diamond status like me, but they have probably a 5-star. And so they are getting the first batches, the better batches first. Because I see this lady at Costco and I'm like, I didn't see a batch pop up, but the way she's shopping, it looks like a good batch. She's probably making bank, I could tell. So pay attention to that if you're gonna be doing Instacart. Every batch, treat it like, give it your best. 5-star service there, because now they're looking, now they're rating you. So let's aim for perfection. So for 2026, for sure, I want to be a 5-star the whole year. So I'm gonna try to finish strong this holiday season, and I hope I get my diamond cart status, and I hope I get 5-star before the end of the year so I can maintain it. But if not, that's gonna be my goal. I think it's every 30 batches, maybe 60 or 90, you know. They start dropping your bad ratings. So I'm like, okay, I just gotta be in a good winning streak, you know. And if I'm gonna maintain it for a whole year, that shouldn't be hard to do, right? The ugly part of this job, let me tell you. Number one, I hate delivering to apartments. Before I accept a batch, I'm always checking. Is it going to like an apartment? Is it going towards that area of my town where there's apartments? Because if it is, I want none of that. The reason for it is because I feel like they're more difficult. Some of the orders, man, they're ordering like 5 cases of water, and it's of course in the 3rd story, and they don't have no elevators, and there's no parking. So it's tough. Every apartment's different, and I don't like none of them. I hate especially when you have to like wait in the gate. They don't give you a code. You call the customer, no answer, so you're just waiting there. Then there's no parking. Then it's like a 3rd story, heavy items. What I recommend though is to always be prepared. Have a wagon. Have something where you could carry your items on wheels. Okay, that's really important. Another thing I hate is like the waiting game. Even though I'm a diamond cart status, I do wait sometimes, but not as much as I used to. Before it used to be like 2-3 hours without a batch. This time it's more like 20 minutes, you know. And then sometimes they're not good batches, so I don't accept everything. So be mindful of that. The batches are there, they do offer it pretty frequently, but not every batch is a good batch. And then car trouble. Like just last night, every time I try to work a little bit later, I forget that I put myself in danger, because it's like I was gonna go travel to like California City, which is pretty far away from my home. And as I'm going over there all peacefully, flat tire. I was like, oh no. So be prepared for that. When you have car trouble, have AAA. You know, they'll come really quick, fix it really quick, and you're on your way. So that's something that I've learned with time. Sometimes, like when I first started, I didn't think it was necessary until it actually happens to you. You know what I mean? And so AAA, I recommend, and get your oil change done. Have inspections for your car all the time, because you want to be in a reliable car. Okay, you want to be reliable. And then the other thing that's kind of yucky is that, well, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but ever since I've been doing this job, I've been really lonely. It's just me and my phones, so I do have the entertainment value there, but like I'm not as social as I used to be, and that used to be my, like, one of my strengths. I used to be a people person, and now it's like, ugh, I hate being around people. These long lines. Road rage. And then when you're waiting, you're like, nobody is thinking of me. Just kidding. But I'm very isolated. You know why? Because I'm focused on work, which is not really a bad thing. It's just something to expect, and I'm trying to like share that with you. And then also losing money when life interrupts. Like in Palmdale, the demand is slow, and if I miss a day, you know, for like a doctor's appointment, because my family, you know, wants to get together, it's okay. It's nice that I have that option, that I could stop what I'm doing to attend, but it messes the flow. You know what I mean? Because I was also trying to do Instacart or the other apps while I had a part-time, and it doesn't really work that way. Like the money that I'm making now, it's because I figured out what times are best, and it's basically, you just gotta be ready all day. You know what I mean? You don't know what batches you're gonna get. You don't know how much it's gonna be. But my goal is always to do 10 batches a day, and usually it averages out to like hitting my goal, 200 plus. You know, if I could be at 250 per day, I'm doing okay. I try to make it 1400 weekly. Okay, but that's before taxes and stuff, and you also got to track your miles. So that's what I mean about managing stuff. There's a lot of components in here that you have to like pay attention and just get into a routine to be successful, because then taxes come, you gotta be ready for that. What would I do different? You know, 5,000, I feel like I'm a pro. I'm not perfect, but I'm aiming to be a 5-star. So if I want to do that, the thing that I would be doing different is, let's see, it's gonna start with being patient. You know, I used to drive around town hoping I get a batch as I get there, but I figured out what stores are busy and consistent, and now I have to just wait in the parking lot, work mode, okay, and be patient. I know something's gonna come up, but sometimes I'm impatient and I try to go to another store to see if it's busier over there. Not no more. I'm gonna pick one spot, you know. Normally I have a Food for Less near my house, so usually in the morning That's the first batch that I get, you know? And so it brings me outside of the house. I go do that at Food for Less, go deliver wherever it sends me. And then after I finish dropping off, I'm checking what's the next busy store. It's usually a Walmart. Okay? So I drive to the Walmart and I wait there. Then I get a batch, sends me wherever it sends me, and then I'm looking at what's the nearest place. Costco. Okay, I wait there. You know what I mean? Wherever it takes me, I'm strategizing the next move. So I had to learn to be patient, because before I feel like I was wasting too much time and gas. I wasn't being as productive too. The second thing that I will change, or I have changed, is investing in the right equipment. Okay? Like a wagon, baskets, dolly. The insulated bags are a must. My life changed when I got the right gear, because I was faster. I was getting better compliments. Presentation when you're dropping off at the door, the pictures count. And most people have Ring cameras, so they see how you're delivering stuff. Sometimes I was like, carrying stuff like this. Now it's a basket. Easy peasy. So invest in the right equipment. Another thing I've done is, or gonna continue to do, is take care of my car. If I don't have a car, I don't get money. So have a schedule of when the oil changes need to be done. Save your money. Everything's on a schedule now for me. So I could tell you in like 3 months, oil change, tire rotations. You know what I mean? At the end of the year, new tires. Keep it clean. And for me, I used to be really messy with my car, because I go to fast foods, eat trash right here on the sides, Not no more. Like, I figured out the routine, and so I kind of like build a lifestyle around it. It's me and my car. So I gotta take good care of it. I take it to the car wash every day because it's close to a Sprouts, So as I'm washing, instead of just being parked at the car wash, at the Sprouts parking lot, I'm getting my car clean, and then bam, a batch comes, accept, and take off. So the more you do it, you're gonna find what routine works for you. And like I said, being patient is important, because I used to have trouble or I would get so annoyed waiting at those Costco lines. They're long, you know what I mean? But they move fast too. And I started appreciating that. It's like, oh man, they have a nice system here. These people are working really hard. And so I started like putting myself in their shoes, and I started appreciating what they do. So anywhere, Food for Less, Walmart, so there's a long line, I kind of just need to be more patient. So for the next 1,000 batches, which will lead me to 2026, my goal is about 75,000. If I could hit that, I'm so close this year, and it feels good. But I know I'm not gonna make it. We're almost in December. But averaging about 1,500 a week would be nice. Is it possible? Yes. I just have to be more consistent. I had a down year like around the summer. I started focusing on other apps, and it didn't really plan out for me. But now I know my Instacart market. So just on Instacart, I want to do like 75,000. If I could do stuff online better, but I think it's a possible goal. I know a lot of people say that most Instacart shoppers don't make that much. And I agree, because most shoppers are college students. Most shoppers are doing multi-apps. You know what I mean? So when you're multi-apping, I don't think you see how many offers come in. Or Instacart is tracking, like, okay, they don't really accept that many batches, we won't offer that many batches. It's weird, because it took me a while. But I think like Instacart knows me now. It's like, oh, okay, Daniel's usually available at this time. Let's see if you'll do this batch. That's how I like to think of it. But it is possible. The orders are there. You know, it's just you figuring out your market, and you can make $200 a day. Okay, 200, sometimes it's tough. So you can make 150 if you push. If not, $100. Start increasing your goals. But also patient and use strategy. So 2026, I'm excited, about it, because I know I'm gonna hit my margins. I know I'm gonna be a 5-star. That's gonna be good, because if I'm a 5-star, that means better batches, which means it's gonna lead me towards my goal. I have the right equipment now: baskets, wagons, cool bags. It's just staying disciplined and being patient. What's your goals? So is Instacart worth it? For me, it is, and I am so grateful and blessed to be working this job, a real job, because it pays pretty good if you put the effort into it. If you're a hustler, if you like being independent, if you want your paycheck to reflect your effort, Instacart is that job. It may not look traditional, but it's real work. It's real money. And for people like us, this is the future, essential workers. So 5,000 batches down. I'm very happy. And let's see what next year brings. 1,000, 5,000 more batches to go. Thank you so much for watching InstaBatch. If you found this interesting, informative, if it helps you out, I hope so, because I'm very grateful for all the YouTubers that posted videos like this to help guide me to learn, what I was doing. I wish you much luck, and like and subscribe to InstaBatch. See you next time.